To welcome you back to the kitchen. I am truly honoured to be with Jordi. I've been practising his last name, you know, and it's one of those things. So
yeah, she is practicing my name, but I am also practicing English because, excuse me, but my English is not really proper. So I also have Tom here that will be my interpreter. So if there is something that is not properly said, ask me and Tom will help us.
That is amazing. Thank you, Tom. I have to say, there was a bit of a shock earlier, wasn't it, with my brummy tones. There was like, oh. So I'm going to speak nice and slowly.
Yes, please.
And we're going to just see how it goes. But I am so excited because we have so much mise en place here.
Yep.
And it is all about the Catalan region, isn't it? So do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am Catalan by adoption. I was born in the north of Spain. But when I was 5 years old, I moved to Catalonia, so I'm Catalan for adoption. But currently by my work, I am working, my responsibility, I'm working for Griffith Foods, and my responsibility is South Europe. So I am working very often with Italy countries, Portugal, France, so I feel really Mediterranean. So my really aim is the Mediterranean.
Fabulous. So do you want to just tell us about the two dishes that you're going to cook today?
Yes, but before I want to ask you a question. What means for you gastronomy, cooking and gastronomy? What is cooking and gastronomy for you? Have answers?
Flavor.
Flavor? Right, it's flavor. But for me there is something that is really important. It's about identity. So the gastronomy is the identity. It's possibly there are two things that makes our identity. It's language and gastronomy. And me as Catalan, we have a language, but also we have a gastronomy. We have our own type of cooking. And this is the result of a lot of people that has been in our area, in Catalonia area. And in all the Mediterranean is the same, because from Iberians to Phoenicians, from Romans to Greeks, from Arabics to Jews, has been there. And all the food path of these people that was there is what define our gastronomy and our character.
Thank you. That is beautiful. So, what are you
The
going
recipes. Okay,
Yes.
the recipes. Well, the Catalan gastronomy was developed in the Middle Age, so it's a really old gastronomy. I bring you two recipes. One of the recipes is part of the first book writing in Catalan that was dated in the 1324. So it's the 14th century. So it's a really old recipe. It's from the Middle Age. And the second recipe is like a picada. Picada is what in Catalan, picada is mines. This is the name. And the picada is basic for our gastronomy because incorporate flavor, texture, and the umami and the a lot of things, and also thickness to the sauces. And basically is a mix of nuts, garlic and herbs. And both recipes are based on these techniques, on the picada. So the first one is a recipe that is in one book that is called the Libre of Sensovic, which is from the 14th century. And this version is a version inspired in a recipe of Carmen Ruscalleda. You heard about Carmen Ruscalleda possibly. It's a very famous Catalan chef. So it's inspired on her recipe, but the recipe came from this old book. Basically, it's a green sauce. It's like a pesto, but a little bit different because it has some honey, has garlic, has some nuts, has bread, has olive oil and vinegar. So let's start to cook if you want, because I'm starting to talk. Maybe I can do the two recipes that I plan to do. Right?
I'm sure you can.
Well, the recipe is called coca because will be on top of a small bread, a small crunchy bread. Is what we call in Catalonia coca. It's a preparation that is based on bread. It's a crispy bread, and we top with different ingredients. So let's start for the sauce. The name of the sauce is salsa julbert, and I have some ingredients. As I was talking, it's normally made with mortar, today we are going to incorporate the technology to be a little bit more faster. So from yesterday I have already marinated some bread.
So that's your bread, and that's pre-toasted as well, and just
Pre-toasted.
marinated.
Yes, I have some hazelnuts, some walnuts, and the yellow of the egg, boiled. Olive oil and vinegar. This is from yesterday, so all the flavors are together. And let's go with the fresh herbs. Basically, is parsley, a little bit of mint, and a little bit of marjoram. A huge amount, huh? Will become a green sauce. And now let's go to use the technology. This sauce is really close what in Italy is called the pesto. And the name pesto is also the same that for us the picada, because pesto comes from the verb pestare in Italiano. Pestare means that. So there are a lot of similitudes in this Mediterranean area.
Okay, so in there was hazelnuts, walnuts, mint, parsley, the egg of the yolk that was cooked.
Yes,
yeah?
Olive oil, vinegar, and garlic. A little bit of garlic, not too much garlic. Needs to be something fresh.
So once you've made that, how long would that sort of last? Would you be able to in the fridge, or would you just make it up fresh for each service?
For the service, you can make it fresh.
Fresh every day.
Yes, because the herbs, the oxidation of the herbs. If you use the mechanical the blender, if you use the blender, the herbs becomes oxidation early. So we have the Julbert sauce, and now it's really easy. One of the characteristics of the Mediterranean cuisine is the simplicity, how simple and easy it is, and it's based on the ingredients. I have here some ingredients, some fish. Today we have a lot of meat, so now we are going for some fish. We are going to work with sardines. So the first things, we are going to prepare the plate. This will be the first. So let's go to dress gently the coca.
So that's a really lovely, generous topping on there, isn't it?
Yeah. And now let's go for the sardines. The fish is really important to not overcook. So I'm going to cook the fish just from one side. Needs to be really hot, the pan. All my...
Amazing, well done. I think that deserves a round of applause, doesn't it, for the first
Oh, wait,
dish?
it's not finished yet, it's not finished yet. Wait. All my teachers in kitchen says that the fish must be cooked in the pan, but finalized in the dish. So when you take out the fish from the pan, still keep a little bit and will be cooked by themselves with their own heat. What are we going to do now? I have some cherry tomatoes that I just blanched, peeled, and after confited in the oven, 116 degrees, half hour. So they are really made with some olive oil and some black pepper. We put this on top. We'll put some lemon for the freshness. And thanks to somebody there, we have some sprouts to top. And just now, I don't add any salt, just add a little bit of maldon on top. And of course, olive oil, that for us is basic. And now it's finished.
Oh, and that looks amazing. I think well done. A round of applause now.
If some of you wants to taste it, here you are. Now let's go very fast for the second recipe, because it's a little bit longer. It's again is a picada, so we are going to use the mortar in this case, and we are going to cook some turbot. So we'll take a little bit more of time. We are going to seal the turbot. We will finalize in the oven. At the meantime, we will prepare the picada. The picada will be made with some bread that we are going to fry with some oil, some almonds, some garlic, smoked paprika, vinegar, and some fish broth. Right? Let's wait. It becomes a little bit more hotter. Yeah. If you have any question, don't hesitate.
So we were talking earlier, and as you're oiling your pan, just say, you know, you've been cooking for a long time.
Yes. All my life. Yeah, I started very young to cook in restaurants when I was a student. And after 15 years cooking, I joined Griffith Foods as development chef. I'm becoming old. I am becoming too old. Okay, let's seal that. We have the oven temperature. Let's wait a little bit, just seal, and we will start to prepare in another pan the picada. Fine? Questions?
Oh yeah, what vinegar are you using? Vinegar again. What vinegar are you using?
What vinegar are you using?
Well, I am going to use a very special vinegar now that my colleague Tom provides. It's a Pedro Ximenez vinegar. But you can use whatever you want. In this case, the Pedro Ximenez is a little bit more sweet. It's like a balsamic in a Spanish version, right? I'm going to add a little bit of salt to the fish, and also a bit of black pepper, whatever it is. Adesso ci piove.
Toilets are going to me, the toilet man, electric service.
So we'll have the fish in the oven, and let's go to prepare the picada, which is the basic. For the picada, we add some olive oil, generous, and let's go to fry the bread. Speed up.
There is no rush. We're all really enjoying ourselves. It is lovely to see.
How we are in time? You know, we're in time?
We're fine.
I am the last one, so no pressure. You want to go home? Not. Stay here.
Everyone's waiting for the barbecue. It's
Ah.
fine. And haven't we all had a lovely day? It's amazing.
Nice British weather. Hey, if you want to taste it, the sardines are there. Come on, guys. Come and taste it. Get one. I have another one, eh?
Okay, so we've got our oil going. So this is for the sauce, isn't it? So this is
Yes.
a bread-based sauce again.
Yes, this is to prepare the picada. That will be the picada, as we talk, is in the mortar, minced mince. Just fry it. And the bread, when you fry it, develop flavors, but also is to use as thickness
Yes.
for the sauce.
Yeah.
So because at the end the recipe is just a fish broth with the picada.
Yeah.
So it's really simple, but tasty. Okay, this is fried. Okay, that's the bread. Enjoy it. Right. And the oil that is still on the pan, we keep it there because we finalize the sauce in the same pan. So stop. So we have the bread, we have just a little bit of garlic, and we have the toasted almonds. We always, for the picadas, use not raw nuts, or toasted, or fried, right? So the almonds, we are going to add the smoked paprika.
We're getting big thumbs up from everyone that managed to get a sample there, so well done, Chef.
Like 2 spoons. And just a bit of nutmeg, but just a little bit. And it's done. Let's go to work with that a little bit. Can you control the fish? Yeah.
Okay, so in there we've just got that fried bread in the olive oil, yeah, and the nuts, garlic,
Garlic
paprika.
and almonds. That's all. Every time that I am doing that, it comes to my memory my mother.
Okay.
Do you think it tastes better when you make it by hand? Is there something more romantic, isn't there, about it being hand crushed as opposed to using a machine?
Yeah. For me, the mortar is what is but sometimes, you know, there is no time, there is more effective. When you are going in the food service, in the restaurants, it changes.
Yeah, you can smell it, it's great, isn't it? I actually feel like I've had a really easy today. As a chef standing here just holding a mic, it's like I'm watching everybody work really hard, carrying everything. I think they've all done an amazing job, and what a fabulous kitchen we've got. So has anyone got any questions that they would like to ask? No? Anyone just, yeah?
The sardines are sealed, but not on the skin side.
Not in the skin side. For 2 reasons. Because the sardine is really thin. If you overcook, it becomes like grass. You need to very slight cook it. And I was explaining that the fish must be cooked on the pan, but finalized on the plate. So their own temperature will cook. So it's fully cooked. But also the skin is really shiny and nice. If you cook both sides, you lose this visual and this freshness that you can see. One of the main risks when you are cooking fish is the overcooking. Well, I believe we have it.
So you work in development. What sort of products have you developed, and what is your day job? When you're not?
Well, it's to bring inspiration to our technicians, but also to bring inspiration to our customers. So putting together culinary and techniques. So science and cooking together, this is what we are doing. So normally I'm in the both sides. I'm in the part of the development, but also in the part of the presentation, showing concepts, creating concepts. It's really interesting.
And so at COVID, have you been doing that online, on Zoom? Have you still been managed to get out and see people during the pandemic?
Pandemic was terrible for me because I am doing a lot of virtual presentation. That, well, it's fine, but can't replace the face-to-face and to taste and to speak with the people. For me, chefs, one of the best things for chefs is the love, the care that we take with their customers. And this is really difficult through a screen, really difficult. Yeah.
So you're glad to be back now, seeing people.
Yeah. For the reason I am very happy to be here because after 1 year, more than 1.5 years, I am again here in UK with you. So
Well,
fantastic.
We're delighted to have you here, even if we do bring you to, I think, the Redditch.
Okay, we have the picada. Thanks.
So we just show people that under the screen, if that's okay.
Yes. Oh.
That's okay?
Well, we have a small problem. I am so hard.
At least you know it's live.
It's like a past. Yeah. And now, yes. And now we are taking the past to the pan.
And we have got a real clean break now, so we're fine, aren't we? That just smells amazing. You can really get that smoked paprika through in the nuts.
Yeah.
Can you smell that?
Oops. So, you can say, we start to toast the picada. This is what is the picada. Now, we start to be roasted. We add one or two spoons of vinegar. Let's keep this to reduce. And let's add on top of that the fish stock.
So is this just a fresh fish stock that you've made?
And keep this reducing to get the right texture. Okay, so how long it takes? Just a couple of minutes. So let's go for the plate. Which one? We have the green, the white one. No. Okay. Yeah, let's do with that. That one. That will be.
You happy with that one?
Yes. Look at the sauce. That it's becoming more sticky.
So while we're waiting for your sauce to reduce and your fish to just finish, have you got any advice when you're the sort of the young chefs
Yes,
out there?
to concentrate the flavors. I have another sauce for that, which is this one. This is made, and it's also another interesting thing, with something that is very Mediterranean, which is the capers, the olives, and this type of chili that is not really spicy. It's a chili preserved in vinegar. We call it piparras. So what we have done is to mix all these ingredients with some stock and to make an emulsion, because the natural oil of the olives. So we have an emulsion that we will use also to dress the fish. And we have, this is done, huh? This is done. Let me have some space here, because I want also to finalize the dish with some, please don't help me, samphire. Difficult to me to pronounce.
I think your English is amazing. So how would you call that in Spanish? What is the Spanish name for samphire?
The Spanish name is spaghetti de mar, or we have several names. Yeah, one of the names, because it changed when I prepared that, I found a name that was the salicornia. Salicornia, but there are several names. Spaghetti de mar. Okay.
So what are we doing now?
Just some claims for garnish the dish, and the salicornia. Sapphire. We will heat a little bit.
So this is just your garnish, and you're just adding some heat to that.
I get lifted down. It's enough. So let's go.
So I think we're just going to wait for that fish. I think, Tom, is that fish ready?
Thomas, the fish is done.
One more minute.
Wow.
So
I just start with the sauce.
So has anyone got any questions? Well, we've just got that last 1 minute before we present. Anything you'd like to ask? I think you've done an amazing job. And
Thanks.
Oh,
Look at the texture, eh? This is what we're looking for.
that is absolutely beautiful.
This-
It smells great.
This, in fact, it's like a stew. We can cook the fish here inside. I am preparing in a more modern way, with the fish finalized in the oven, but you also can cook the fish inside, which is the way that the fishermen are doing in the boats. So I am going to place a little bit of sauce in the middle. I am going to add some drops of this emulsion. And on top of that, I am going to add some piparra. And some peppers. To finalize, as always, I need the olive oil, because this is for us always present, the olive oil. And a little bit of salt, because the fish is already salted, but not there. And this is the dish. Hope you have enjoyed it, and now you know a little bit about the Mediterranean, about our culture and our identity.
I have to say, well done. If anyone's got any questions, we've got a few minutes left, so please feel free to hang around, come and speak to Jordi. We'll get...
Hey, wait. Take out the pan, now it's much better.
Oh, very lovely. That's lovely. Right on, guys, that was an excellent demonstration. Good, thank you.
Thanks.
I have to say that was absolutely beautiful food, and it is lovely to hear your passion come through and the history.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's been
A pleasure, you're welcome. Was good?